Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. It's been a while. Well, you know, we've got all this snow and wind and ice. It's just fabulous. But anyway, it doesn't work to come out and make our videos. And we're using this great little, Michael's using a little GoPro here. It's fabulous. And he got some new equipment. So he's been working on that. I've been doing lots of research, a lot of writing, and setting up some things, some events up here that I can work with you personally in Shasta, or work with you mentoring or in counseling and teaching. And so I just want you to know I missed you, but I'm there with you, and I really know, you know, you're my people, I'm yours, and we've got other people out there that are our peoples. And there's some terrific, terrific people out there in the world on the YouTube and other places and doing their work, because this is it. And it out there is not it. You got it? You are. And when we know this and we do this, this is now such the greatest opportunity. And it always is, you see, right now in the now. And my topic for today is having all you need. I read a book years and years ago about prosperity, and it was so good. And I think it was coming from some group in San Francisco that were really looking at all of the ways for us to flourish naturally in harmony with the earth and each other and all of that. That's really our nature. And they said there's two kinds of prosperity, in a sense, or economics, or you might even say two aspects of what we consider to be our prosperity. There's moneyed worlds and there's unmoneyed worlds, you see. So, and when we give the power always to the money as our prosperity, you have to look at, a lot of people don't worry about the money because they just print it and make it and then give it, you know, and then charge interest on whatever they're doing. Oh, what a racket. But anyway, what happens is that without knowledge of who we are, and that's why I want to really acknowledge, you know, almost all the great religions of the world will have some truth. And also they have also a lot of untruths because they're written down by human beings, you see. They might say it's the Word of God, but who wrote that down? And where did they get that? And which God and what God are they talking about? Because, you know, there's so many different varieties, you see. And then you got everybody fighting about my God's better than your God, and I'm better than you, and you're less than I am, and I'm a royal, and you're a commoner, and I'm blah, blah. No. Any work you do, because it's you, is honorable. And it wouldn't matter picking up trash. That's a good business. And especially now with everything in a sense, I don't like to use the word recycle. That means you just keep staying in the same system, the same reincarnation pattern, you know what all I mean? But to take what we have cast away, in a sense, because we've been such a consumer, thinking we're consumers, and we're really actually not. We're generators, we're creators. And we were turned into consumers because we, in a sense, we were giving our power to money or to others or to so-called elitists or so-called rule makers or your spouse or your parents or your children or the neighbors or blah, 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 all this stuff. So there's the moneyed worlds and the unmoneyed, and the moneyed ones would be the area of business or trading. But what is money? Money could be gold, could be silver, could be cookies. You know, come on. It's whatever you're using as a medium of exchange, in a sense. But when we give money or gold or silver or gemstones or, you know, big cars or anything, we give them the quality of the divine as if they can give us the divine pleasure that we are seeking, the fullness, the security, the satisfaction, to actually being free of any kinds of fear. People say, well, you got to have fear for this or that. No, with your awareness, you know what if it's time to run or time to do this. but you don't make yourself frenzied. You don't give that the power. You just do what's appropriate right in the moment, you see, because, like, you know, it's always time, place, and circumstance. Okay, so let me get back to this. And to having all you need, you have to realize that what you have, you already have all you need because it's who you are. And when we are always directed into the outer, into the so-called money worlds, or the stuff worlds, or the thing worlds, the world of things, and it's also then the world of what we call mental creations, thought form entities, computers, patterns, systems, blah, blah, all of this kind of stuff. When we give that the power of the divine, what we do is we suffer. And we then believe and take on everything that we've been taught and learned from whoever it is, as that's our path to basically freedom and happiness, liberation, joy of being. But we're already free, you see. We're already liberated. Because what does liberated mean? It's talking about who we are at the true sense of who we are as spirit souls, as divine beings. And when we're right there, it's not the mind. It's not what you're thinking about yourself. If I'm fabulous because of all of my accomplishments and everything I've done and all my degrees and all the words that I know and all the people that I've known, all the experiences I have and all blah, blah, blah. Yeah, where is it? Where's it now? Where's it now? Oh, well, my stuff, yeah, Your mind, you see. It's going on in the mind. And so when we're diverted from our original path, and you know how we get suckered into this, and I want you to know, it's really interesting. I was taking again that, you know, John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Well, to take a look at that again, in the beginning of a manifestation, because there's no beginning to you. There's no beginning, there's no end. You're an eternal being. You're part of God, the divine. Mother, I call Mother, Father, God, however you want. And these are labels, these are names. And they're never the name, like you're not your name. I'm not the name Terry Cole-Whittaker. I've got a lot of names. I've got my Champakalata, that's my Vedic name. Champu, that's a nickname my teacher gave me. I'm Gigi, Gigi, my granddaughters call me, and it's nice because that's clarified butter. I'm Mom, you know, I'm that woman. There's all these names, but that's not me. Even the body that you have, that's not you, but that is your concept, in a sense, of what you have accepted and agreed with, that is contained in the memories, the subconscious, the unconscious, and all of that. And what we're talking about is the real you, free of that. And a lot of people know how they would exist without that. You are existence. That's your nature, existence itself. So when we give all of that power out there to give us what we need, what we're doing is becoming more and more needy. And the person becomes less and less able, and more self-pity, more sorrow, more fear, all of this, because we're trying to get something that isn't a thing. And I'll tell you, you know, because you have the taste. See, so when you get the taste of the divine, you run after it because it's the best. And the mind tries to divert you from this. And if you watch the mind, it'll say, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to listen to her there. You don't want, that's crazy. Where do you get that kind of stuff? Who's telling you that? The mind. Then you look at who told you that, and they were following their mind, and then you got all these minds that are trying to talk you out of having all your needs met. And the real need of any is to know who you are. And it's not a concept, but yet we have to use the words right now, because we were taught these words and the meanings of these words, and it's so across the plane, in a sense, that because, take a look at Vedic cosmology, really interesting. And you could get some little, they're like animations that kind of show you the Vedic concepts, you might say, of the universe and all of the different realities. And like I have a map, like I have up on my wall, that is a drawing and painting a picture of the material worlds and the spiritual realms and all these different levels. And they're really cool. So anyway, what that does is to realize everything you desire, you already have. The love, the appreciation, the talents, the abilities. See, it's like in anything. You can develop any talent you want. Just start doing it. People say, I remember I used to think, if I just think I can play the piano, I can. I'd sit there and go, well, I probably could have played the piano, but I didn't really even know what that meant, really. Because so much of what we do, we don't even know really what that means. We go at it to do it because we've been told to do it and other people are doing it, but we don't even know why we're doing it. So it comes back to when I really, what would you say, was looking at what I needed. When you look to someone else to give you what you need, which is self-satisfaction, which is that, and that is that connection, that wholeness, that fearless state, that confident state, that state of absolute knowing and wisdom of who you are and everything. Nobody can give you that. A teacher can give you what they have learned and what they've shared, absolutely, and we want to appreciate our teachers. And it's just like, and also, don't throw that baby out with the bathwater, but say, well, I'll throw out everything that was ever learned or anything. Wait a minute. So many great beings have left their clues, remember? And they have left that knowledge in some of these great books, but that doesn't mean I don't make it a belief system. And I can also perceive what is truth and what isn't. Because when you're in touch with who you are, you always have what you need, the wisdom in that moment to actually know what to do. And because when you solve problems with the mind, it always creates another problem because that's how the mind exists, on true and false, you see. And so when you, what would you say? When you're out there in the world and we're dealing in that moneyed world, money isn't going to give you what you already have. When you know who you are and in that state, and I call it bliss, because my book, Live Your Bliss, bliss is nothing more than you being who you are and not thinking. And then you start to know how often are you doing that? Well, they taught us if you're not thinking, you're stupid. Well, yeah, but look who's telling you that. Look who's telling you that, not to trust yourself. What are they getting out of it? Follow that money trail, because that power trail, that's some kind of sickness that wants to control everybody and everything and then have everybody suffer. I mean, that is unbelievable to a real human. And what happens is, and I really ask you, if you love any of these videos, and just know there's so many videos that we've done here, and they're all for you. Study them, use them, work with them, share with other people. And, if you want, you can subscribe, and you could do, that would be great, but I have to actually look at a better way where we can communicate more intimately. So I'm looking at that because I don't have wireless, or nor do I like it at my residence, the farm in the meadow where I'm residing. So I like to have my space be beautiful because I have birds. Our birds are everywhere. And the kitty cat, she loves to watch the birds, but she doesn't touch the birds. She can't get the birds. And there's this one blue jay, she's adopted us, Birdie. And so it's just, and then the little animals and all the things and all the creatures and all the stuff and all. It's so cool because when we're in touch with the person, your own being, the others, the animals, the people, and start feeling your own feelings and your own love. And sometimes that love feels like a sorrow, but it really isn't because it's such a deep love. And you also have what you need, the intelligence to do whatever you need to do in that world, you see. And what you want to do is realize that this world, this fake possible reality, isn't designed by you. It is designed by the thought form entities we call the mind, a virus of some kind that thwarted our consciousness, and that infection, and you have the medicine, you can get rid of it, has caused like divine beings to actually become demons in some way, in a horrible way because, and it isn't who they are. And what happens is when we're infected by this in the mind, because it's contagious, because we want to be liked, we want power, we want money, we got to have food on the table, we got to do all these things that our heart doesn't tell us to do, you see. And so for us to now take command of the mind, take command, that means to own who you are and what you are, and to start manifesting what comes from truth and your heart and who you really are. Not just the past creating the future and the future creating the past. And some of the courses and classes I'm going to be doing up here, manifestation. How you know all the parts, how to do it. And realizing we are manifestors. And how to also take out all of those stoppages and those things that have convoluted our view, our perception, and we get rid of those layers and layers of concepts and beliefs and ideas that don't have anything to do with us, but are always based on fear and guilt and war and fighting and conflict and taking sides and who's the winner and who's the loser and the blah. No. People say, well, we'd be bored without that. You're only bored when you're not here. Right there with you. Anyway, hey, I love you. And I want to actually have a lot of great people out there. Give them support. Come on. It's like, wee-haw, this is it. And I want you to celebrate the real joy of your being. Mwah.